Hello everyone, welcome to this video lecture of Geotechnical Engineering. This is Sukamal Ghosh, Assistant Professor, Civil Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management, JS Group. Till now, we have discussed the various cases based on Rankine's lateral earth pressure theory for the cohesionless soil. Now in this particular video, we will solve a numerical based on the Rankine's lateral earth pressure theory. So, the problem has asked that for the earth retaining sheet pile which is shown in the figure, means for this particular sheet pile we need to sketch an earth pressure diagram under the active state. Okay, so we need to sketch or draw the earth pressure diagram under the active stage, and also we need to find the total thrust, means the total resultant active earth pressure force and its location, means where it is acting. So in the figure it is given that the total height of the sheet pile is 10 meter. Okay, now from the base of the sheet pile at 6 meter depth there is a water table present. Okay, and the soil is sand, means the soil is cohesionless soil. Okay, and the angle of internal friction is 30 degree and the dry unit weight is 15.7 kilonewton per, it will be meter cube. Okay, and the saturated unit weight is 19.8 kilonewton per meter cube. Okay, and we need to assume the value of gamma W, that is the unit weight of water, as 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube if it is necessary somewhere in the problem. Now apart from that, it has also given that a uniform surcharge of 14 kilonewton per meter square is acting on this backfill. Okay, so let's solve the problem. So for this surcharge, the weight or the vertical stress, that is Q, is acting, right? So for the surcharge, let me write it here. For the surcharge, the vertical stress, that is sigma V, is equals to Q is equal to 14 kilonewton per meter square. So for the surcharge, the active earth pressure will be PA1 is equals to Ka into sigma V. Here the sigma V is nothing but the Q, right? So Ka into Q. Okay. Now what is the value of this Ka? See, we know Ka is equal to 1 minus sine phi divided by 1 plus sine phi. Okay. So this 1 minus sine, see the value of phi is 30, right? So sine 30 degree divided by 1 plus sine 30 degree. So if you solve it, you will have 1 by 3. Okay, so the PA1 will equals to the value of Ka is 1 by 3 and the value of Q is 14. So if you solve it, you will have 4.67 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so here due to this surcharge, the pressure distribution diagram will be rectangular as we discussed in the various cases, right? So this is PA1. Okay, now for this first layer, means for the dry soil, the pressure distribution diagram will be a triangle, right? So for suppose this is the first layer. Okay, this is the first layer, right? So for the first layer, what will be the effective stress? That will be, see, if this is 6 meter, then it is 4 meter, right? So this effective stress will be 4 into the gamma dry, right? So it will be equal to 4 into gamma dry. The value of gamma dry is 15.7 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so 15.7. okay, so for the first layer, if the active earth pressure is Pa2, then it will be equal to Ka into this value, that is 4 into 15.7. so the value of Ka is 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 into 4 into 15.7. So if you solve it, you will have 20.93 kilonewton per meter square. This is Pa2. Okay. So this is the value of Pa1. This is Pa1 and it is Pa2. Okay. So here it is Pa2. Okay. Now this first layer will act as a surcharge to this second layer. Okay, this is the second layer. Okay, and this first layer will act as a surcharge, and the value of this surcharge will be equal to the effective stress of first layer. Okay, so let me write it here. See, the layer 1 to the layer 2. Okay, and the value of the surcharge, suppose it is Q dash, will equal to the effective stress of the layer 1. Okay, and which will equal to 4 into gamma dry. Okay, so for this surcharge, means for the layer 1 which is acting as a surcharge to the layer 2, the active earth pressure will be Pa3 is equals to the Ka into this gamma dash. So if you solve it, you will have K is 1 by 3 into this Q is 4 into gamma dry is 15.7. So if you solve it, you will have 20.93 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, see, this Pa2 was also 20.93. okay, and this Pa3 is also 20.93. it means Pa3 is equals to Pa2. okay, so here this is Pa3. okay, this Pa3 is equals to Pa2. okay, now if you consider the second layer, in the second layer for geostatic condition, the pressure distribution diagram will be this, and let me rub it. For hydrostatic condition or for the water, this will be the pressure distribution diagram, right? Suppose this is Pa4 and this is Pa5. So how can we calculate the Pa4? See, so in layer 2, the effective stress for the geostatic condition will be sigma 2 is equals to total stress minus pore water pressure. Okay, so here the total stress will be the height, that is 6 into the unit weight, that is gamma saturated, minus the height into the unit weight of water. Okay, so the value of gamma saturated is given, right? It is 19.8. so 6 into 19.8 minus, it is 6 into, let me take the value of gamma W is 9.81 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, it is 9.81. okay, so this is the value of the effective stress for the layer 2 in geostatic condition. Okay, so this is for geostatic condition. We are discussing geostatic condition. Okay, so now the PA4 will be Ka into this value. The value of K is 1 by 3 into this value is 6 into 19.8 minus 6 into 9.81. Okay, so if you solve it, you will have 19.98 kilonewton per meter square. So this PA4 is 19.98 kilonewton per meter square. Now for hydrostatic condition, the effective stress, that is sigma W bar, will be height into the unit weight of water. Okay, and the PA5 will be Ka into sigma W bar. Okay, we know for hydrostatic condition this Ka is equals to 1 and the value of this sigma W bar is 6 into the value of this gamma W is 9.81. So if you solve it, you will have 58.86 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so this is the value of PA5. Okay, now if you want to calculate the total active earth pressure, then you may determine it by adding the PA1 plus PA2, PA3 plus PA4 plus PA5. Okay, so the value of PA that we have got is 4.67. The value of PA2 we have got 20.93. Though in this particular case we don't need to calculate this active earth pressure, because in this particular problem it hasn't been asked to calculate the total active earth pressure. We just want to calculate the resultant active earth pressure force. Okay, but still I am just for the knowledge calculating this total active earth pressure force. Okay, so the PA3 was also 20.93, the PA4 is 19.98, and PA5 that we have calculated just that 58.86. okay, so if you solve it, you will have 125.37, okay, kilonewton per meter square. Okay, now we need to calculate the resultant active earth pressure forces. Okay, now for the surcharge we have got this particular pressure distribution diagram. Okay, so in this particular pressure distribution diagram, the resultant active earth pressure force will act here. Okay, this is FA1 suppose, and this height will be suppose Y1. Okay, so this Y1 will be 10 by 2, that is 5 meter. Okay, and what will be the value of this FA1? The FA1 will be the area of this particular pressure distribution diagram. Okay, so let me write it here. So the FA1 will be the height of the pressure distribution diagram is 10 into PA1, and the PA1 is 4.67, so it will be 10 into 4.67, that is 46.7 kilonewton per meter. Okay, and acting at a depth of 5 meter from base, right? So this FA1 is acting at a depth of 5 meter from the base, and the value of the FA1 is 46.7. Okay, now see, for this particular pressure distribution diagram, the active earth pressure force, that is FA2, will act here, and this depth is suppose Y2. Now this Y2 is equals to this 6 meter plus this 4 meter by 3, right? Okay, so if you solve it, you will have 7.33. okay, and the value of this FA2 will be the area of this particular triangle. The height of the triangle is 4 meter and the base width is PA3 or PA2, whatever you can write. Okay, so FA2 will be half into 4 into PA2. okay, so if you solve it, you will have half into 4 into the value of PA2 was 20.93. so if you solve it, you will have 41.86 kilonewton per meter, and it is acting at a depth of 7.33 meter from base. Okay, so the value of this FA2 is 41.86 kilonewton per meter, and it is acting at a depth of 7.33 meter from the base. Okay, now in the same way, here the FA3 will act. Okay, now here the FA4 will act, and here the FA5 will act. Okay, now this height is suppose Y3, this height is Y4, and this height is Y5. okay, so the Y3 will be 6 by 2, right? It is 3. The Y4 will be 6 divided by 3, it is 2, and Y5 will also be 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, so let me calculate the value of FA3. It will be height into base width, right? So it is 6 into 20.93. so if you solve it, you will have 125.58 kilonewton per meter acting at a depth of 3 meter from base. So it is acting at a depth of 3 meter from the base. Okay, and this is the value of FA3. Now what will be the value of FA4? It will be half into the depth into the base width is PA4. okay, PA4. so if you solve it, you will have half into 6 into PA4 was equal to 19.98, right? So if you solve it, you will have 59.94 kilonewton per meter acting at a depth of 2 meter, right? And what would be the value of FA5? There will be half into the depth, that is 6 into the PA5. So if you solve it, you will have half into 6 into the value of PA5 was 58.86. so if you solve it, you will have 176.58 kilonewton per meter, and it is also acting at a depth of 2 meter. Okay, now then what will be the total resultant active earth pressure force, or according to the question, what will be the total thrust? See, the total resultant active earth pressure force or the total thrust, let me write it here, total thrust. Okay, since in the question it is written as total thrust. Total thrust is Fa, which is equals to Fa1 plus Fa2 plus Fa3 okay. So the value of Fa1 was 46.7, the value of Fa2 was 41.86, the value of Fa3 was, we have calculated that 125.58, the value of Fa4 is 59.94 and the value of Fa5 is 176.58. okay. So if you solve it, you will have 450.66 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so this is the total thrust. Now what will be the location of this thrust? See, suppose the location of the thrust is y bar, which can be given as Fa1 into y1 plus Fa2 into y2 plus Fa3 into y3 plus Fa4 into y4 plus Fa5 into y5 divided by Fa1 plus Fa2 Fa3 plus Fa4 plus Fa5. So if you put all the values here, like for Fa1 the value is 46.7, the Fa2 the value is 41.86, the Fa3 the value is 125.58, the value of Fa4 is 59.94 and the value of Fa5 is 176.58. In the same way, the value of y1 is 5 meter, the y2 is 7.33, the y3 is 3 meter, the y4 is 2 meter and the y5 is 2 meter. If you put all the values here, you will have this y bar is equals to 3.085 meter. Okay, it means the total thrust is 450.66 kilonewton per meter, which is acting at a depth of 3.085 meter from the base of retaining structure. Okay, so let me repeat the whole discussion for this particular problem so that you can understand the whole problem is in a better way. Okay, so this was the problem, and the problem asked to calculate the total thrust, right? The total thrust means the total resultant active earth pressure force, right? So it was given the depth of the sheet pile was 10 meter and the water table is a depth of 6 meter from the base. Okay, and a surcharge of 14 kilonewton per meter square is acting at the ground level. Okay, now it is also given that the soil is sand, means the soil is cohesionless soil, and the value of angle of internal resistance, that is phi, is 30 degree, and the value of dry unit weight is 15.7 kilonewton per, sorry, this will be meter cube. Okay, and it will also be meter cube, and the saturated unit weight is 19.8 kilonewton per meter cube. Okay, so first we calculate the active earth pressure for the surcharge, and this is equals to the coefficient of active earth pressure into the vertical stress, and for the surcharge, the vertical stress is nothing but its weight, that is Q. Okay. So in this way we calculate the active earth pressure for the surcharge, and this is the pressure distribution diagram for this surcharge. Okay. Now for the first layer we calculated the active earth pressure, that is PA2, okay, which is equals to Ka into the vertical stress, that is the effective stress. So by putting these values you will have this PA2 is equals to 20.93 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. Okay, initially we calculated this Ka using this particular formula. Okay. Now, so we also discussed that the layer 1 means this layer of 4 meter will be act as a surcharge on the second layer. Okay, means the layer of this 6 meter, right? So for this case the active earth pressure is PA3 and we have calculated as 20.93 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. Now for layer 2 there will be a geostatic condition and a hydrostatic condition. So for geostatic condition we calculated the effective stress, that is total stress minus pore water pressure, and from that you will have this effective stress which is equals to 6 into 19.8 minus 6 into 9.81. okay, this 19.8 is the saturated unit weight and this 9.81 we have considered as the unit weight of water, which is equals to 9.81 kilonewton per, sorry, this will be meter cube. Okay, so this will be meter cube. Okay. Now by putting the value of this effective stress for geostatic condition we get the active earth pressure for the geostatic condition, and in the same way we also calculated the active earth pressure for the hydrostatic condition. Okay. So once we calculated and draw all the active earth pressure and the active earth pressure diagrams respectively, we can calculate the resultant force for each pressure distribution diagram. Okay. So for this first pressure distribution diagram it was Fa1, for this it will be Fa2. In this way we calculated all this resultant force. Okay. So the first one is the Fa1 is equals to 10 into 4.67, this 10 is the height and this 4.67 was the base of this pressure distribution diagram, and then you will have 46.7 kilonewton per meter, sorry, it will be meter. Okay, so this will be meter. Okay, and in this way we also calculated this Fa2, Fa3 and the depth at which they are acting. Okay, this Fa4, this Fa5, these are resultant active earth pressure forces, are nothing but the area of those pressure distribution diagrams. Okay, and after calculating all the resultant active earth pressure forces, that is Fa1, Fa2, Fa3, Fa4, Fa5, we just add this all 5 resultant active earth pressure forces to get the total thrust, that is Fa, or the total resultant active earth pressure force. Okay, which is equals to 450.66 kilonewton per meter. Okay, and this Fa is acting at a depth of y bar, which can be given by Fa1 into y1 plus Fa2 into y2 plus Fa3 into y3 plus Fa4 into y4 plus Fa5 into y5 divided by the total thrust. So if you put all the values, means the value of Fa1, y1, Fa2, y2, in this way all the resultant active earth pressure forces and the depth of the forces where they are acting, then you will have this y bar is equals to 3.085 meter. Okay, so this is it for today. From our next lecture we will start the Bell's theory of lateral earth pressure for the C5 soil. Till then, stay safe and stay happy. Thank you.